The excitement level is redline on the tack today at ZMAX Dragway, Charlotte, North Carolina. Unseasonably cool temperatures have brought high horsepower conditions to a repaved surface that's as smooth as glass. And already, Jonnie Lindberg has taken advantage, producing the quickest and fastest alcohol funny car pass in NHRA history. Jonnie, along with fellow Swede Ulf Leanders, have already produced national event wins stateside that have served notice to the natives. There's a Swedish invasion underway in the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. My goodness, the things we have already seen on the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series this weekend at the 4-Wide Nationals. Beautiful ZMAX Dragway, Charlotte, North Carolina. Granted, it's a little unseasonably cool, but those cool conditions have given us a run that we're going to be talking about for a long time. Pick up your jaw, Alan.
A little.
Alan Reinhart. I'm Dave Reefin. Yeah, a little unseasonable.
A little unseasonable. We've been talking corrected altitude numbers like 500, 600 feet below sea level. And obviously, corrected altitude is what makes horsepower in these cars. It's just off the charts. And the one guy that's taken the big advantage of it, you just saw, Jonnie Lindberg. What an unbelievable performance.
That's what we're going to be talking about for years to come, because he didn't just barely beat Frank Manzo's 3.5-year-old record. He obliterated it. He dropped the quickest run in this category by 0.05 of a second.
And reset the fastest mile an hour in this category by 4 miles an hour. Normally, when you're talking about records, you're talking 100th and a half is a big step. He just obliterated it. Now, he has not yet backed up that 536 number, so that's not an official record. But the 272 is backed up by an earlier 270-mile-an-hour run. By NHRA rule, you have to make another run within 1% for it to be an official record. You got to do it the same weekend, so he's still got today.
We've been talking all season long. What if Jonnie Lindberg didn't shake? Well, we found out what the result would be, and Jonnie's standing right by John Kernan right now. John, take it away.
Looks to be a big day for Jonnie Lindberg as he tries to back up the new national record for alcohol funny cars today. The first driver ever in an alcohol funny car to go into the 530s, 536 with the one. And Jonnie, just how big a deal is that for you?
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I was aiming for a low 40 and maybe a 39, but when the scoreboard showed 36, I was crazy, you know, to see it. So really happy for that, and the car works good. These conditions are mind-blowing. It's perfect.
Yeah, he's already reset the national speed record over 272 miles an hour. Needs a 541 with a 4 to back it up. He'll take on Brian Howell in the second round.
Thanks very much, John.
Oh, by the way, he did that in front of a sold-out crowd here at ZMAX Dragway. They had this place packed yesterday. A lot of people saw that, and they understood the accomplishment. They cheered loud enough, I believe they could hear him in Sweden.
And those weather conditions on a beautiful, crystal clear blue sky day are still mine shaft. These cars are performing at 270 feet below sea level still today.
My pager says it's a little more than that. The racers obviously keep very close track of this, but there you see literally Disneyland conditions. And with the blue skies, the sun has got enough heat in the racetrack that's not a concern. If you have a day like this in cloudy skies, sometimes the track temp will only hang around in the 40-45 degree range, and then you can't get a hold of it.
You know, if you're wondering what Frank Manzo thought about Jonnie's performance, you know the stat guy. Check that out.
Yeah, made the call today, spoke to Frank Manzo. He said he's very impressed. He said the weather, 538, 270. He expected that. But here's what he really was blown away by, the fact that Jonnie Lindberg ran 218 to the 8th mile in an alcohol funny car. That really got his notice.
What's Brian Howell got to do here?
Don't make a mistake, because Jonnie Lindberg in the first round shook and rattled. He was trying to back up the record. Jonnie is more focused about backing up the record than he is about winning the race. If Brian Howell goes down there and runs 5:55, I believe he can win if Jonnie stumbles. If Jonnie runs 5:35, Brian can't beat him anyway, so don't give it to him.
Brian, who came to this race, why? Because his son Dylan wanted to watch the Mellow Yellow Series go 4-wide.
We've been seeing that this weekend as well. Here we go. That's what you can't do if you're Brian Howell.
At 5:38.1. Unbelievable. The second time in the 530s we've got a new national elapsed time record, and it is that 5:36.1. Don't pay attention to Brian Hobbs. Those numbers don't make sense. It'll get thrown out. The red light was on.
Brian left so early, he started the clocks with the back tires. That's what happened. He left so early as the back tires were going across, it started the clock. So that 5:34 would be tossed no matter what happens. But Jonnie Lindberg gets the record and 270.64, second quickest, second fastest in history. There you can see perfectly as Brian's car was driving through. That's when the tree flashed. What they call a rear wheel start in the business.
Meanwhile, Jonnie on the top side. Another one of those runs. There was a little wiggle there that made me think it maybe wasn't going to be able to back up the record, but it did. And all he had to do was back it up real quick. It's 5:41.4. Jonnie did it when he went 5:38.
And runs his lifetime record to 2-0 against Brian. Once in California and once in Carolina.
And Jonnie Lindberg, congratulations. You backed up the record, and looks like you were already anticipating that. Look down here at the T-shirt, guys. So these are available to trailer, right?
Yeah, I got this T-shirt from Adam Rhodes last night, so I needed to back up the record. So
Tell me about that run there to back it up.
yeah, it was a great run. It felt like yesterday, you know, 38. It was all over the track, but it's really a fast car, and I want to thank my sponsors, you know, Leander's Clutch, Manton Push Rods, and Scott Gather Racing, and you know, it's unbelievable. This car is really fast now, and hope we can make it all the way to the final.
We'll see you in the semifinals next.
Yeah, thank you.
Adam Rhodes, of course, the World Championship tuner for the Alcohol Dragster. Everybody, Chris Dempkin is not here this weekend.
Remember that onboard courtesy of Ulf Leanders and his crewman Max? Wow, this is cool, Lewis. Thanks for grabbing that.
Yeah, round one, you can see him shake, get out of the groove a bit. You can see him pull the chute, the tack. Man, I love the in-car stuff and Alcohol Funny Car. Stay tuned for round number 2 action here at Charlotte.
Well, it is 56 degrees, beautiful skies, the sun keeping everybody warm here at Z-Max Dragway for Dan Pomponio Jr. and the #1 qualifier, the guy who's got everybody's attention, Jonnie Lindberg, and that includes the stat guy, Louis Blum.
Little perspective about Jonnie Lindberg's run. He would have qualified number 11 in Top Alcohol Dragster. Don't get to say that too much. Nope. That's how good that pass was.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have survived the first round in Top Alcohol Dragster. Those guys have been making a living in the 20s over there on this incredible racetrack in spectacular conditions. Well, which car did Jonnie bring to the starting line this time? The one that went 657, shaking, rattling around in the first round, or the one that's been in the 30s twice?
The question for Dan Pomponio, can he go to his 4th consecutive final round here at this racetrack?
This place has been very, very good to him.
Pomponio with career best 5:53 in the round right before this. Very tough to make a tuning call here. You don't want to step it up too big because if Jonnie's in trouble, easy to pick him off, but you don't want to get yourself in trouble either.
I'm telling you, if it's me, I'll run 55, go down the racetrack. If Jonnie runs another 30, he wins. But don't let him get away with a 562 like what Steve Harker just ran.
The question is, will Jonnie shake or will he not? If he doesn't, what will the number be this time? Yep, there's the shake.
And there's the pedal.
But don't expect anything mind-shattering here. 5:52.3. Yeah, that's 10th and a half off the pace, but 5:52.3 gets the stripe first.
Pomponio was 0.24 on the tree. He had a 500ths head start via reaction time. He runs 5:57.
Exactly what you're saying,
He wins that race. At this point, I think he's glad he doesn't have to go back to the body shop because he came real close to scraping wall. Watch, shake, rattle. You see the quick pedal job there by Jonnie Lindberg and the
whoa. Oh, so close to scratching up that beautiful back in black machine. Yeah, if there was a sponsor on the side of that thing, you could read that from the top end.
Yeah, it's never good when the guys in the tower can read what it says.
Oh, Pomponio Racing, that's what it says. Wow, right through your living room.
Does that cameraman get hazardous duty pay? This guy does.
Fortunately, that is a static camera on the wall. Top end, yep, John Kernan.
Jonnie moving on to the final, shook a little bit there.
Yeah, it shook a little bit, but I pedaled it, and yeah, we're gonna meet Harker in the final, so it's gonna be fun. He's a good friend of mine, so yeah, this car is good. You know, good sponsor, Red Light Oil, and Manton Push Rods and rocker arms, and a really good Swedish clutch, Leanders. It's just perfect, everything.
Boy, how about those boys? The brothers getting it done, going to take on the champ.
It was pretty close to perfect on that 536, I promise you.
Speaking of those finals, time now for the Top Alcohol Funny Car finale. Jonnie Lindberg's done just about everything today.
Qualified #1, set the national record. All he's got to do now is win the race, and to do that, he's got to beat the reigning world champion.
Yanni gets away first. Oh, Harker in trouble right off the starting line.
Steve Harker smokes the tires, and Jonnie Lindberg smokes his way to a 540 at 269 miles an hour, and he becomes the first driver in the history of alcohol funny car to slow down and only run 540.
Words I've never heard before.
Yeah.
But a great job by Yanni as he picks up his second national event win. John Kernan.
Yanni, pretty much a perfect weekend. #1 qualifier, 2 national records, ET in mile an hour, and you win another Wally. How could it get any better?
I don't really know. It's amazing this weekend, you know. I think Uncle Frank dropped his horseshoe, so the car works perfect this weekend. And, you know, like good products, Leander Sludge, you know, the Noonan heads, and, you know, Redline oil, and, yeah. Good valves, Manly, so I can rev this car up. You know, it's amazing.
When are we going to see you next?
Houston, probably.
All right, we'll see you there in about a month.
Yeah, thanks.
Uncle Frank's horseshoe win?
I don't know, but I'll tell you something. That guy did not leave any crumbs on the table here this weekend.
Congratulations one more time to Jonnie Lindberg on the quickest alcohol funny car pass en route to his second national event win.